Good morning. This is Sri Primo with a quick recap of the men's singles semifinals yesterday at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. I was privileged to be attending there along with a few of my friends. This is our regular tradition that we've always done, going to the US Open semifinals, and it's a tradition like no other. Of course, I'm channeling my inner masters thing, but it is a fun thing to go to the US Open with all my friends. And we typically stop by at a big shout out for Sal's Pizza in Mamaroneck, and then a bakery place right next door. And off we go to the US Open. And then our US Open start with a visit to the Arthur Ashe. Usually, the women's doubles tournament usually takes place in the Louis Armstrong, but glad they moved the matches to the Arthur Ashe, and Taylor Townsend with Sinikova was there, but um, it was actually a very good, solid crowd, and the fact that they do allow everybody in, anybody who has access to Arthur Ashe can sit pretty much at the middle sections. It's actually a good thing. Unfortunately, Taylor and Sinikova lost, but it was actually a fun uh, place to be. It was awesome. I mean, I think she's had a good run, and I was pretty impressed with the way. I mean, again, there was some things that bothered her, especially in the sun, but she had to serve mostly in the sun. But again, it's not an excuse. It's just that a lot of unforced errors, especially on overhead smashes and things like that. But anyway, coming back, both Dr. Dan and I did a quick. Actually, we did a preview of the semifinals between Alcaraz and Joker, and then after that, we did a post game. But I don't think we did a post after the center. I think our battery levels were pretty low by that time. But anyway, we will. We are pretty interested in uh, how everything turned out. So let's quickly talk about the Djokovic Alcaraz match and the Sinner and FA match. These were really exciting matches that we got to see live at the Arthur Ashe Stadium. These energy in the building, and I mean, a lot of people did say that should the Djokovic and Alcaraz match be a night match. I'm not going to get into those controversies, but the bottom line was it was a little hotter. I mean, of course, and then a lot of people were kind of saying, well, Djokovic should have played at night. But again, it was a rotation thing. But either way, it was a fun match to be. I mean, usually for a 3 o'clock match for a men's semifinal, the stadium people are still coming in around 3:30, 4 o'clock. But this time at 3 o'clock, this place was indeed packed. I mean, the entire stadium was rocking right from the get go. It was very surprising to me to see Alcaraz actually defer, um, not to serve when he won the toss. But the crowd was definitely pro Djokovic. I think everybody there recognizes the fact that this could be. This is like the Djokovic going out in the sunset. The number 25 that has eluded him for a very long time is something that he wants, something that he craves a lot, and I think, and he's doing his best. And at this point, if you ask me, apart from Carlos Alcaraz and Sinner, he's the third best player. The rankings may not show it. Obviously, he doesn't play many of those small Masters 1000 tournaments due to his kind of compartmentalizing what he wants to play, and he can do whatever he wants, and he has earned everything he can uh, to do that. And for him to actually go toe to toe with Alcaraz was impressive to see. Um, he knew what he was trying to attack, and both Dr. Dan and I called it during after our post game our report. He did. We were both saying he should be attacking Carlos's backhand. I think Carlos's backhand is slightly weaker than his forehand. The one thing that has improved in Carlos's game is the serve. The serve has definitely improved, but Djokovic kept pounding to Carlos's backhand. Another facet of Carlos's game, which has usually been his strength, also didn't work to his advantage, which was the drop shot. But there was so many times, there were a couple of times Djokovic was able to run from the baseline, get to this, try to hit a flick over Carlos Alcaraz. There was this one point which was just phenomenal. So all in all, it was Djokovic in the first set. I think Carlos, once he broke Djokovic, it was just a matter of him keeping his serve okay, and then that went well to Carlos's advantage. He was able to really finish the points, and anytime you get into a back and forth matchup with Djokovic, you're going to lose a point. But I think that's one thing that Carlos did really well, where his serve really proved to be a huge advantage for him against Djokovic this time around. Um, and and then Djokovic had actually beaten him previously this year, right? He beat him or not this year, in the French Open too. So, but the thing is, I think this could be one of the wins for Alcaraz in a long, long time against Djokovic on hard court. But in the second set, Djokovic just ran off three straight games. He was definitely the crowd was on his side. I mean, there was the energy in the building. But give credit to Carlos. He kind of stayed to the ground, comes back, breaks him, ties it at 3-all, and then they go back and forth, and all the way to the tiebreaker. This is something that I was telling Dr. Dan um, during where we're watching it, and I said, well, it'll be fun to go to a tiebreaker. Now, the tiebreaker, these little things do matter. Um, the first point, I mean, was an impressive serve by Djokovic, but the way Carlos hit it so deep, and Djokovic had to put it in the net, and then Carlos ran to a 4-1 lead. Djokovic cuts down to 4-3, and then again to 5-4, and that's when Carlos just had these two massive serves to end the tiebreaker. That tiebreaker could have really gone either way, and if it gone on Djokovic's way, I'm not saying Djokovic could have won. I do think that something that Djokovic did allude to during the post game, and he said something to the effect of, if I need to make sure that I have to be able to play 5 sets. It's tough to play 5 sets against Sinner and Alcaraz. He knows that he is just slightly behind these two, and it's just a matter of like trying to find, like, maybe there's a dip in their uh, game, and Djokovic, can continue to elevate, and he's going to come back. He's already said he's going to come back to all the 2026 Grand Slams. But I think for Djokovic, he did say that he can hang with both of them in like a 2 to 3 set. And I think once it gets to 5 setter, especially because both Carlos and Sinner are always going deeper into the tournaments, I definitely think he will win the 25. I think it's a lot of things have to come into place for that. Either Alcaraz or Sinner lose in the earlier rounds, and then I don't think there is anybody in the current group of players who can challenge Djokovic in a Grand Slam semifinal as well, because I think he's just that good, and he tries to figure it out. I think it's just that from a not just from a skill, even from a mental standpoint, I think both Sinner and Alcaraz, such a young age, have established themselves to be. I mean, I think Djokovic sees almost like a mirror image of him on the other side when he was younger. So he's trying to beat a younger version of Djokovic when he plays like a Sinner or Alcaraz. So I think that's where I see Djokovic right now not able to get over that hump. But I do think that there is a time will come. And I think the third set, you knew that Djokovic was definitely cannot hang with Alcaraz. It knew that Alcaraz just was put on another gear, and he got that win at 6-2. It was a very cool embrace um, at the net. I think Alcaraz and Sinner, both these players, really respect what Djokovic has brought to the game, and I think they really respect his what he has done for the game. So I do think that they every time, and I think it was a good post by Alcaraz as well to say to share the court with the goat, which is a good thing for like two youngster. We have two young players who really respect, who play the game at a very high level, and who respect what they have when they place with a player called Djokovic. They never got to play um, much of Federer at all. They never got to play much of Nadal. I think Carlos and Nadal may have played one match, but I do think that they don't have that rivalry with those big three, big four. I would say even Murray that much, but. Having that rivalry against Djokovic actually has a better record against Alcaraz than Sinner, interestingly. So that's where we are. I think, like I said, the energy in the building was just oozing out of the entire auditorium. Going to the second match, Sinner and FAA. Most people that I talked to, even Dr. Dan and I, we did like a pregame, and we said that FAA would hang with Sinner for about 3 sets. It'll be a tough match, but Sinner would walk away, and it looked like that in the first set. Sinner was just breezing through the first set. He broke FA much earlier. FA's serve, that's his one of his biggest strengths. Didn't go up to his plan. He can hit serves up to 125, and you'll see at the end of the um, match, FA actually had better serving percentage than Sinner did. And the only thing which kind of let him down throughout the match was the number of unforced errors when compared to Sinner. Coming back to the match, FA played everything that he could against Sinner. After the first set, 6-1, he bounced back really well. With the crowd on his side, got Sinner to a 15-40 and broke him. When that broke, the roof just came down because they knew that there is another player, FAA, who can go toe to toe with Yannick Sinner. But in that second set, you could also see Sinner, his serve dipped a little bit. Like I said, FA's serve percentage was much better, and FA definitely capitalized on that. And Felix was just incredible in the second set. And once he uh, tied that match 1 set apiece, this place just went nuts. I mean, it was great to see the entire stadium. The energy was back in the building, and Sinner actually had to had a physio come out to work on his shoulder. So, and that's when everyone there was like, "Here we go again." I think maybe Felix has the game to beat Sinner, and but I think it was Sinner was back, and then in the third set, it was such a great game in the third set, and it went back and forth, and then you could see that FAA was going. I mean, it was just a matter of 1 or 2 points every time that he played against Sinner, and um, you could see that Sinner was not getting any easy uh, points. I mean, he had to work through every point, but the quality of tennis from both of them was just amazing to see. I mean, how they, I mean, like I said, he went toe to toe with um, a Sinner, and there were times when he would hit this amazing passing shots. He had like this overhead lobs, and then but Sinner the I've not seen many players who can cover the court like him. I mean, of course, Alcaraz does too. The ability to slide on court both and then move from one end of the court to the other end of the court, and you could see it. And I was telling one of my friends, doing texting, and I said the TV doesn't do any justice to the quality of strokes that you see in in person. The ball is hit so hard, and you could see it going one way from the other, crisscross across the thing. And then I was telling one thing to my friend. I said, "Well, I think Felix has to change something. He may need to come to the net a little bit because he wants to see if Sinner can commit some unforced errors," and he did. Um, and that really helped Felix win that second set. But once he got the third set, and then the fourth set was such a close affair as well. Um, as you can see, only 20 points separated Yannick Sinner from Felix Auger Elisame. So, um, both of them won 3 games in a row. And of course, that was second set where Felix won 3 in a row. Like I said, the first set percentage, Felix actually at 65%. Prior to the game, I was hearing the radio as well that the U.S. Open provides. McEnroe did say that he had to get up the serve to about 65 to 70%, which he did. But I do think that when you think about the amount of unforced errors, I think that was the difference in the game. So Felix, he's he could be jumping to number 15 in the world, which will be a good thing for him. He will avoid some stars. I mean, for Felix, it was an incredible run. He beat Demon um, in this one. Then he beat Rublev, and then Felix went on to beat even um, I think if I'm not mistaken, he meets Zverev too. So beating Zverev, which is world number three, beating Rublev, uh, who is like number 15 in the world, and then beating Demon, who is number 8 in the world, that should give a lot of boost for um, Felix, and I'm really impressed with the way he has bounced back. He's battled through injuries. I really hope that I'm always trying to see if there's a third person, just like we had the Federer, Nadal, Djokovic, and maybe we should say the fourth person because I have not, uh, you know, writing the this end story and for Djokovic yet. I think it's Djokovic, Carlos, Sinner, Djokovic, and we need the fourth person. Maybe FAA comes out of that group. I mean, because I do think that Zverev is there, not close, but hopefully Musetti or a um, Demon. No, I would love to see one of these players rise up and challenge the two right now. So this was a long podcast, but then we have the Alcaraz was Sinner. And during the previews, both Dr. Dan and I picked Sinner and Alcaraz go to the final. I did pick Alcaraz. No, I did pick Sinner to win it all, and we'll see if that'll come back to fruition. So we're looking forward to an amazing match tomorrow at 2 p.m. Meanwhile, for the women's, we do have the Anisimova and Sabalenka. Really rooting for Anisimova to win this tournament. I mean, but I think it's going to be a very tough thing. But I do think that she has the game. I mean, she battled really hard against Osaka. I mean, even in the second set after she won the tiebreaker, comes back in the third set and wins it. So I know she can go toe to toe with some of the best players. She's ranked number 8, but her ranking is going to definitely improve after the U.S. Open. But I do give her a punter's chance, and I think it's 60-40 in favor of Sabalenka, but it'll be incredible if an American lifts this trophy. So I know this was a very long U.S. Open recap. We were there. I really wanted to cover a lot of the things that I saw in person, and it was incredible to see another U.S. Open semifinals tradition is over, but I think we'll look forward to the next one. So have a good rest of the day. Thanks for listening.